Welcome back to Skillshetra, where we turn hacking skills into superpowers, one CTF at a time. I'm Kushal, and today we're diving deep into one of the most exciting challenges in the Hacker101 CTF series, Encrypted Pastebin. This one's not just a puzzle, it's a cryptographic battlefield. In this video, we'll exploit a padding oracle vulnerability to decrypt encrypted data, use bit flipping attacks to modify server-side logic, and craft a SQL injection payload that punches straight through the encryption. And yep, we'll automate everything in Python step by step, so you can not only get the flags, but actually understand the attack behind the magic. Let's start by running the application and taking a look at what we're dealing with. When the web app loads, we see a super simple interface, just a form with two fields, a title and a body, followed by a post button. Nothing fancy, no login, just this form. Now let's enter something, say Skillshetra, in both the title and the body. We hit post and bam, we're redirected to a new URL that looks something like long string after question mark post equals is clearly encrypted data, probably our title and body wrapped inside a token. Now here's where things get interesting. If we start playing around with that encrypted token, for example by trimming off a few characters at the end and refreshing the page, boom, we suddenly see a flag appear right there in the response. This happens because the server is trying to decrypt our modified token, and when it fails in just the right way, it accidentally reveals sensitive data in the response. No login, no authentication, no JavaScript needed, just a tiny tweak in the encrypted token, and we score flag 0. For the second flag hint says, we talk about this in detail in the Hacker101 crypto attacks video, and don't think about in terms of an attack against encryption. All you care about is XOR. So, I would suggest you to watch Hacker101 crypto attacks video. I will provide link in my description. By help of these hints, we know we have to perform padding oracle attack. But what is a padding oracle attack? To understand this attack, we need to know how IES in CBC mode and PKCS number 7 padding work. CBC cipher block chaining. In CBC mode, each plain text block is XORed with the previous ciphertext block before encryption. During decryption, each ciphertext block is decrypted and then XORed with the previous ciphertext block or the IV for the first block. PKCS number 7. Padding. AES requires the plain text length to be a multiple of 16 bytes. So if the last block is shorter, it's padded with bytes equal to the number of padding bytes. Now here's the key vulnerability. If the server decrypts an invalid ciphertext and checks padding before authentication or MAC verification, it may respond differently depending on whether the padding was correct or not. This difference in response, like a 403 versus 500 error, becomes a padding oracle. We can use it to brute force the plaintext 1 byte at a time, even without knowing the key. This is the heart of the code that decrypts each block using a padding oracle. Step 1, get the encrypted token. Step 2, decode and split into blocks. Decode the base 64 ciphertext into raw bytes. AES CBC uses 16-byte blocks, so we split the ciphertext into those blocks. If there are n blocks, we'll need to decrypt blocks 1 to n. We can't decrypt the first block without the IV. Step 3. Launch decryption threads. Each block decryptor thread decrypts one ciphertext block. It uses the previous block to manipulate the decrypted value of the current block, CBC dependency. All threads push results to a shared output queue. Inside block decryptor.run, core logic. This loop goes from padding value 1 to 16. We are decoding the block from the last byte backward. Let's say padding measures 1. That means the last byte of decrypted plain text should be \x01. We try every possible byte value 0 to 255 for the last byte in test IO and send the modified ciphertext to the server. If the response doesn't contain invalid padding, we've found the correct value. Why does this work? In CBC mode, so we tweak C sub I minus 1 to influence the decrypted plain text P sub I. If the server says the padding is valid, we know our guess for the plain text byte is correct. We repeat this for every byte in the block, 16 total, to fully decrypt one block. Step 4. Collect decrypted blocks. Wait until all threads finish decrypting their blocks. The decrypted blocks are sorted in order and concatenated into the decrypted variable. Step 5. Strip padding and extract flag. The last byte of the plain text tells us how many bytes of padding to remove. Once padding is stripped, we decode the plain text to UTF-8 and extract the flag with regex. Summary. What we did. We decrypted AES CBC encrypted data block by block using a padding oracle. We brute forced each byte by manipulating the previous ciphertext block and observing the server's response. Once decrypted, we found the second flag hidden in the plain text. Now flag 3, bit flipping attack to elevate privileges. Instead of decrypting the ciphertext, this time you modify it to make the server think you are admin and view another user's post. Step 1. Get the encrypted token, and this token is a base 64 encoded string representing the IV plus encrypted blocks of the JSON payload. Step 2. We identify the ciphertext blocks. Step 3. Next, we XOR the known plaintext of block 7 with IV6 to extract the intermediate value. Step 4. Now comes the spell. We XOR this intermediate value with the new desired plaintext. This produces a new IV that, when decrypted, gives us a different structure. Step 5. Combine the new 4 with the original ciphertext and send it to the server. The server decrypts it. And guess what? We've spoofed a new object to leak a different flag. Mission accomplished. That's the third flag. Flag 4. SQL injection via ciphertext crafting. What's happening? Okay, this is the ultimate CTF flex. We're going to inject SQL commands inside AES encrypted data without the key. How? By brute forcing and reverse engineering the ciphertext itself using bit flipping plus Oracle plus smart padding. We prepare our SQL injection payload. This one extracts group concat headers from a tracking table. Next, we use a loop to prepend blocks from the back, one at a time. We use the brute init function, a faster brute force approach, to decrypt a block based on current known ciphertext. With each iteration, we prepare the previous block so that the decrypted result matches the SQL payload. Final step, XOR known block with the first 16 bytes of wanted, encode and send. Search the resulting response for flags. We now have all flags, including this juicy one that came from an injected SQL query. And that's a wrap on the Encrypted Pastebin challenge. We just cracked 4 flags using everything from padding Oracle attacks to bit flipping and even a crafty SQL injection, all with Python automation and some cryptographic insight. If you made it this far, you've now learned how padding Oracle attacks expose AES weaknesses, how CBC bit flipping lets you rewrite ciphertext logic, and how to inject SQL payloads straight into encrypted data. That's real-world exploitation, CTF style. If this helped you learn something new, support the channel. Subscribe to Skillshetra for more deep dive CTF walkthroughs. Drop your questions, suggestions or wins in the comments. And don't forget to hit like. It helps me reach more learners like you. I'm Kushal and I'm here to help you not just solve challenges but understand why the exploits work and how to build your skills from them. Up next, even deeper challenges, more advanced techniques and more code-driven hacks. So stick around. You're just getting started. Stay curious, stay consistent and keep hacking. See you in the next one, only on Skillshetra.